the FIFA World Cup is more than just a football tournament. It's where history is made, legends are born, and unforgettable moments leave billions of fans speechless. Every 4 years, the world's greatest players step onto the biggest stage, but sometimes the unexpected steals the spotlight. From shocking upsets to incredible goals and dramatic finishes, the World Cup has produced moments that no one could have predicted. One of the craziest moments came in *1950, when tiny Uruguay faced football powerhouse Brazil in the World Cup final at the famous Maracanã Stadium. Nearly 200,000 Brazilian fans packed the stadium, already celebrating what they believed would be their first World Cup title. Brazil only needed a draw, and when they scored first in the second half, the celebration began, but Uruguay refused to surrender. First, Juan Alberto Chafino equalized, stunning the crowd into silence. Then, with only minutes remaining, Alcides Giggia raced down the wing and fired a shot past the Brazilian goalkeeper. The stadium fell completely silent as Uruguay won *2-1, creating one of football's greatest shocks. The event became known as the Maracanazo, and many Brazilians still consider it the country's biggest sporting heartbreak. Fast forward to *1960, and another unbelievable story unfolded. England hosted the World Cup, but before the tournament even started, the famous Jules Rimet trophy was stolen during a public exhibition. Police searched everywhere but found nothing. Just when hope was fading, an ordinary dog named Pickles discovered the trophy wrapped in newspaper under a hedge while on a walk with his owner. The trophy was safely returned, and England went on to win their first and only World Cup. Pickles instantly became a national hero and one of the most famous dogs in sports history. The *1970 World Cup in Mexico introduced football fans to one of the greatest teams ever assembled. Led by the legendary Pelé, Brazil played beautiful attacking football that amazed the world. In the final against Italy, Brazil produced a performance that is still remembered as one of the greatest displays in football history. Pelé opened the scoring with a towering header before Brazil finished the match with a breathtaking team goal that ended with Carlos Albertos smashing the ball into the net after a perfect passing move. Many experts still call it the greatest World Cup goal ever scored because every player touched the ball before the captain finished the move. Then came one of the most controversial moments in football history. The *1986 Hand of God. Argentina faced England in the quarterfinals. Early in the second half, Diego Maradona jumped with goalkeeper Peter Shilton. Instead of using his head, Maradona secretly punched the ball into the net with his hand. The referee failed to spot the handball and awarded the goal. England protested furiously, but the decision stood. After the match, Maradona famously said the goal was scored, a little with the head of Maradona, and a little with the hand of God. Just 4 minutes later, Maradona created another unforgettable moment. Picking up the ball in his own half, he dribbled past 5 England players before calmly scoring what many believe is *the greatest goal in World Cup history. In just minutes, one player had produced both football's biggest controversy and its greatest masterpiece. The *1994 World Cup in the United States ended with one of football's saddest moments. Brazil and Italy battled through 120 minutes without a goal, sending the final to the first ever World Cup penalty shootout. Italy's star player Roberto Baggio, who had carried his team throughout the tournament, stepped forward to take the decisive penalty. Millions watched as he struck the ball high over the crossbar. Brazil celebrated winning their 4th World Cup, while Baggio stood frozen in disappointment. A heartbreaking image that became one of football's most iconic photographs. The *1998 World Cup brought another unbelievable surprise. Brazil entered the final as favorites with superstar Ronaldo Nazario, the best striker in the world. However, just hours before kickoff, Ronaldo reportedly suffered a mysterious medical incident that shocked teammates and coaches. Although he eventually played, Ronaldo looked far from his best. France, inspired by Zinedine Zidane, dominated the final and won *3-0, lifting their first ever World Cup in front of home fans. The mystery surrounding Ronaldo's condition remains one of football's biggest unanswered questions. These unforgettable stories prove that the FIFA World Cup is unlike any other sporting event. Every tournament creates moments filled with joy, heartbreak, controversy, and pure magic. Yet the craziest moments were still to come, as the new century delivered even more unbelievable drama that fans around the world will never forget. As football entered the 21st century, the FIFA World Cup continued to produce moments so dramatic that they seemed almost impossible to believe. Legendary players, shocking upsets, unforgettable goals, and emotional victories reminded fans why the World Cup remains the biggest sporting event on Earth. The *2002 FIFA World Cup, hosted by Japan. South Korea, delivered one of the greatest underdog stories in football history. South Korea, ranked well below the world's elite teams, stunned everyone by defeating Portugal in the group stage, eliminating Italy in the round of 16, and then overcoming Spain in a dramatic penalty shootout. Their incredible run to the semi-finals united an entire nation, with millions of supporters dressed in red filling the streets. Although their journey ended against Germany, South Korea became the first Asian nation to reach a World Cup semi-final, proving that anything is possible on football's biggest stage. 4 years later, the 2006 World Cup finalists between Italy and France produced one of the most shocking incidents ever witnessed in a football match. French captain Zinedine Zidane, playing the final game of his legendary career, had already scored with a daring Panenka penalty. Then, in extra time, after exchanging words with Italian defender Marco Materazzi, Zidane suddenly turned and headbutted Materazzi in the chest. The referee initially missed the incident, but after consulting his assistants, Zidane was shown a red card. One of football's greatest players walked past the World Cup trophy on his way to the dressing room, ending his career in unforgettable fashion. Italy eventually won the match on penalties, but Zidane's headbutt became one of the most talked about moments in football history. The 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa was historic for many reasons. It was the first World Cup ever held on African soil, bringing the tournament to a new continent and creating an unforgettable atmosphere. The sound of thousands of vuvuzelas echoed through every stadium, becoming one of the tournament's defining memories. On the pitch, Spain completed one of football's greatest eras, led by stars like Andrés Iniesta, Xavi, and Iker Casillas. Spain dominated possession with their famous tiki-taka style. In the final against the Netherlands, the match remained scoreless until the 116th minute when Iniesta scored the winning goal. Spain lifted their first ever World Cup, completing an extraordinary run that included victories at the 2008 European Championship, the 2010 World Cup, and the 2012 European Championship. Then came one of the most unbelievable results football has ever seen. At the 2014 FIFA World Cup, hosts Brazil dreamed of winning the trophy in front of their own fans. Instead, they experienced one of the greatest sporting disasters ever recorded. In the semi-final, Germany completely overwhelmed Brazil. Within just 29 minutes, Germany scored 5 goals, leaving players and supporters in total disbelief. The final score was 7-1, a result so shocking that fans around the world struggled to believe what they were watching. Images of Brazilian supporters crying in the stands became symbols of one of football's darkest days. Germany went on to win the tournament after defeating Argentina in the final thanks to Mario Götze's extra-time winner. The 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia delivered another remarkable story with the rise of Croatia, a nation of fewer than 4 million people, battled past Denmark, Russia and England to reach their first ever World Cup final. Led by Luka Modric, Croatia inspired football fans everywhere with their determination and teamwork. Although they lost 4-2 to France in the final, their incredible journey became one of the greatest underdog stories in World Cup history. France's young superstar, Kylian Mbappé, also announced himself to the world during that tournament. At just 19 years old, he became only the second teenager after Pelé to score in a World Cup final, confirming that a new football superstar had arrived. Then came the unforgettable 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. A tournament filled with drama from beginning to end. The opening week delivered one of the biggest shocks ever when Saudi Arabia defeated tournament favorites Argentina 2-1. Millions of fans were stunned as Lionel Messi's team suffered an unexpected defeat.